The internet is full of people telling you that the only way to build something that you truly own is to blow up the stable thing that you already have. They say quit, take the leap, trust the process. I think that advice is how a lot of capable people end up worse off, not better. And I want to show you a version that doesn't require gambling your family's security. I call it escape velocity. Most people think about a number like this in purely financial terms. You hit a certain amount of income outside your job and you're free to walk away. Money is definitely part of it, but it is not the whole picture. Think about a rocket for a second. It burns most of its fuel building up speed because breaking free of gravity comes down to velocity. Leaving a stable job works the same way. The paycheck has its own gravity and it takes real momentum behind your own build before that pull finally lets go. So I'll show you how to find your own number and, just as important, how to know when you've built up enough momentum to break free. As always, I'm your host, Aaron Amin. Everything I break down on the show, I go deeper on every week on my Substack at ownyourupside.substack.com. Subscribe there and you'll get the full escape velocity framework plus every breakdown I publish. The link is in the show notes. All right, let's get into it. So number one in this strategy, escape velocity is both a number and a trajectory, and neither one is a feeling. You will never feel ready. There's always going to be one more reason to give it another year. A feeling is what will keep that debate open in your head forever. A number is what will help you close it. So give yourself a true goal to anchor to that will allow you to create the appropriate plan to get there. But the number by itself is not the whole signal. The momentum behind it is. That ties back to that rocket. In order to achieve escape velocity, you need to have enough to get past the gravitational pull. So one quick action for you, write down the monthly figure where your non-W2 income could comfortably cover your life, plus a little buffer. Do that right now before moving on. Number two, the signal that you're looking for escape velocity is when the opportunity cost flips. At the beginning of a wealth building journey for 9 out of 10 people, there is an extremely high opportunity cost for leaving a stable job. This is especially true if you have young children in your household like we did. So for years, despite my entrepreneurial inclinations, the cost of leaving was far too high for me to consider. Leaving meant giving up a stable, growing, 6-figure job. So instead of resenting my employment for holding me back from my goals, I leaned into it and more than doubled my income in 5 years. But one day, the opportunity cost flipped. Last year, when our development project started in earnest, my schedule, which was already down to the tiniest of margins, became a hindrance I could not ignore anymore. Every hour I was spending at my job was an hour not working on building Everwood Reserve. And Everwood Reserve was the key to our entire future. Not only was this not fair to my employer as I became getting more and more strained, but it's not fair to my family, our team, and our investors, all of whom are depending on me to deliver. So for me, January 5th, 2026 was a big day. We put shovels in the ground on our project the same day that I was able to leave my job. So ask yourself this: what is staying at your job costing you right now in your pursuit of financial freedom? It's kind of a trick question because I bet you it's costing you less than you think. By not getting so attached and resentful towards your job, you can actually turn it around and turn it into a tool. And when the opportunity cost becomes bigger to stay versus leave, that's your go signal. The third key to this strategy, you build towards your number in parallel rather than trying to leap at it. Throughout the past 7 years of my professional career before I left my job, Andrea and I built our portfolio by taking small, concentrated actions every day for years, which allowed us to build a portfolio of 8 rental properties across 3 states. At its peak, our portfolio brought in over $18,000 a month in rent, and we comfortably netted $5,000 a month, while also building over $1 million in home equity and still working full time. None of that required me to leave my job, and as a matter of fact, none of it would have even been able to happen if I had. Now, Everwood Reserve is the bigger swing that already, at the time of this recording, over 20 months in the making. We raised over $2.8 million from 37 investors in 10 weeks in 2025. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, especially while working full time with young kids in the house. And that was the first signal to me that the opportunity cost was starting to invert. But even so, we still needed my W-2 job to qualify for the multi-million-dollar loan package we applied for. So once again, our entire current life as it exists right now would not have been possible without me sticking to my career, investing in a diverse set of skills, growing my income, and seeing the big picture of how this fits into our vision. Number 4, write a crystal clear vision of where you want to be, but expect the path to get there to look different as your life evolves. On October 5th, 2023, which was my 34th birthday, I wrote a vivid vision for what I wanted my life to look like 3 years from then. This exercise is based on the book Vivid Vision by Cameron Herold. He is an amazing author, and this concept truly changed how I view my own life, and I highly recommend this exercise. Within the vision I wrote, I spoke about my desired relationship with my family, how our business and portfolio would continue to grow, the core values of that portfolio and business, what I wanted my professional life to look like, and quite a few other details of what I wanted my life to be. So the best example of this is that I said by the end of 2027, we wanted to have over $300,000 in non-W-2 income from our businesses. That would be enough to help comfortably replace Andrea's salary and mine. At the time, we had barely even heard of residential assisted living, and the idea of Everwood Reserve wasn't even a thought in our heads. So we set that goal before we knew exactly how we were going to get there. And there's an important point in that. We had a target of $300,000 in non-W-2 income. We also had a set of core values, one of which was that we wanted the business we build to have an impact, not just a financial return. This led us to senior living, which checked every single one of those boxes. But the point is, we would never have come to that realization if we didn't set the clear vision in the first place. Fast forward to today, and we are set to pass $300,000 in non-W-2 income a full year ahead of what was in my vision by the end of 2026. We hit that bold financial goal almost to the penny. Our vision was spot on, but the path to get there was much different than what we thought it would be. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So, your action, if you don't already have one, I challenge you to take 5 minutes after this and write down your own very high level of vision of what the outcomes you're really driving towards with a date and a number you need to hit. Start there, and you'll be surprised where that takes you. So that was a lot. If you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you leave for one thing, let it be this. Achieving escape velocity is more than just hitting a financial target. Momentum is the key ingredient for making it last. So don't be in a rush to leave a job that may actually be the keys to your future. Instead, I challenge you to reframe it as an opportunity to invest in your skills, knowledge, income, and network, all while building something that you truly own, one day at a time. As a gentle reminder, I post every week on Substack at ownyourupside.substack.com. I'll put the link in the show notes below. And if you liked what you heard, I would appreciate a 5-star review. That's how we get this show to more people just like yourself. And lastly, if you'd like to go a click deeper on any of this, please check out my recent episode where I explained the parallel build process all in one nutshell. I'll catch you next time.